Hello, this is Bridget from Divine Essentials. Alright guys, we are here for the next part of Alcyone light healing. Today has been a little crazy for me. Everything I've tried to do, I just... but that's because I feel I didn't get my drink for the past 2 days. And then today I finally got it back, but it's like it took a little while for it to build up in my system the first time that my dad started giving it to me. So I found out today how to make it so that I can make it myself, because it's a brain fog drink from the medical mediums, like recipes or whatever. He got all the stuff and started making it for me. I didn't even really know that he was going to do that. Like I don't even know that I shared the recipe with him. Like I shared something to him to like tell him something or show him like oh, look at that. And he was like, got this recipe and he was like chopping stuff and seeping crap and doing all these things. And I'm like, but it's not necessarily gross. It's not necessarily great. It's like hot water with weird flavoring. I don't know. It's like hot, and that was the thing too. I was like, "Oh, it's hot!" Like, I wasn't expecting it to be hot when he gave it to me. I don't know why. And the first time it was really not that good, and I was like, "Whatever, what is in here?" And it was like lemon and honey. So I'm like, maybe we should do some more of that. And since he's added more of that, I can actually like drink it. So it's really good for my brain. I know that because it was like, oh, I got more done in 2 days than I did in like 6 months. But now I'm like going back into the. I've been trying to get a reading done for somebody. I got all readings done last week when I was on the drink for a few days. I had like 5 people book one type and another person book this type and another thing come in, and I got all of those things done in one day. And then this person booked after that little like, and so they were like, they got into the wrong place, because now I'm like, oh no, like I keep forgetting about them. At first it was just because I was doing so much other stuff, but now it's like my brain just won't let me get there. I was live for 3 hours last night on Instagram, and that was after 7 hours of being like, I'm gonna go live in a minute, and then 7 hours later I got live. But I am still getting a lot of things done. It's just I can feel the chaos again, and it's like, no, I don't want to live like this. I can't live like this. Give me my drink, because I need that. I can't even do certain things that I need to do to get to like go to places to get better so that I can, heal and all of that. I need to drink to do it. I'm like, help me. I couldn't even finish I finally just finished getting my dogs their stuff ordered, and I tried starting that like this morning. So it's been well over 12 hours. And I'm like, order. So forgive me if I'm a little loopy or going around in circles, but I do want to do this video because I know, like, if I keep putting it off, I just won't get to it. I need to do it. Also, I wanted to say thank you really quickly, because I don't know where this person is located in all of my things. I have people on this channel, on the Bridget Rao channel. I have people on Instagram. I have people on Facebook. So I just want to be like, hey, thank you. Somebody named Johnny sent me this. And this is the Modern Spirituality, a guide to the heart of mindfulness, meditation, and the heart of healing. So it's the, it's like it's got like little prompts in it and stuff like that. It's perfect for what's going on right now for me. And then I got this one, and it says Navigating Grief. It's a guided journal prompts. Like, it's literally like prompts and like places to fill out. And again, it's perfect for right now. And it's kind of like what happened in the beginning of my Bridget Rao channel, like when I first started the Bridget Rao channel. And right now, Bridget Rao channel is kind of like having a big thing happen. So again, it's like this is kind of aligned with that. I don't know who this one came from. I'm probably thinking it was Johnny. But what Amazon did is they sent this one in a bag with its paper. And then this one, they took like a piece of cardboard and were like, there you go. And I just taped it on there, and this was open and this was open. So if there was any paper in there, it blew away. But whoever sent it, thank you. If it was you, you can comment down below and I can know who you were. But I feel like, back when I first started Bridget Rao, I was, doing readings. I probably had like 6 or 7 decks to start myself off. A woman started coming there, and people thought she was fake. They were like, who is this person? Blah, blah, blah. Like, there was people who would comment, like, you're just making it up, it's you. And I'm like, it's not me, like, I promise. And then she was like, oh, I'm here, I'm real. But it was all of these decks for like a year one a day or two a day sometimes like three at a time would come. But every single week there was at least, more than one deck that showed up for a while. And now I have hundreds of decks. And I feel like that was like what Spirit wanted me to do at that time. Well, now I'm kind of pivoting things over there. I'm sure some of you have heard of this. I'm going to be doing more of my mentoring and spiritual coaching. It's like soul coaching and business mentoring. And I'm trying to do both of those things and have both of those things available. So these things, these prompts and these informations that are in here, I feel like their Spirit's guiding people to be like, hey, go get this book and send it to Bridget. They were guiding her to go get those decks and send it to Bridget. She's gonna need that. She's gonna want that. And it's here's the tools, here's the things. Don't freak yourself out. Use some stuff that's already been written. You don't need to write all of it again. Just help, you know what I mean? Because I get weird and I'm I come up with everything from scratch, from my brain. The 88-page workbook, I didn't get anything in there from anywhere else. It was just let me do it, and I just created it. But I'm not saying I'm gonna, plagiarize or copy this every inch of these things, but I probably will take some prompting type of information out of it, or even use these in the groups, because we're gonna have groups. So I'm doing one-on-one coaching, which is gonna be more expensive if it's one-on-one, and I'm only gonna put out so many at a time, because my stuff right now, until I'm a few months into getting laser therapy, I don't want to take on too much stuff, and I don't want to be a coach that's not showing up for my coaching classes or my coaching clients. It's okay to sometimes occasionally move something, but it just doesn't feel right to be doing that with a lot of things, so I don't want to do too much and get that way. If I put out the one-on-one coaching to have that available, I'm I don't know what to do, because now I know that there's a lot of people that are I can't wait, and I'm oh no, how many of you are there? Maybe I will have to change up the thing that I had, because at first I was we'll do this on this day, and then 7 days in we'll do this, and then 14 days in we'll do that. I could maybe spread that out more and get more people, and I could still do it every week, but people, instead of checking in with me every week, it would be all right, you check in with me on this week, you're checking in with me on that week. I'll keep track of it, but but that would be more, and it wouldn't really be crazy amount of time together. It's just me and you talk, I figure out what you want to do, where you want to go with stuff. Are you trying to heal? Are you trying to grow? Are you trying to become somebody with the business? Do you want to figure out your soul purpose? In the first weekend, I have an accountability call, and I'm hey, and email is open the whole time, so you can email me that questions and stuff if you do have issues in the middle. Did you get that stuff done? Because now you're ready for part 2, right? And then if they're ready for part 2, give them part 2, and then on the 30th day, they should be done with all of their stuff for the month. And if they got all their stuff done for the month, yay, great. Now, what do you want to do? Do you feel good enough to go back to being, solo? Do you want to come join one of my, groups of people? Because I'm going to have small groups of people to coach on a different scale. Or do you want to do another round of this for another month, where we, come up with another plan and go a little deeper with something? And that was, $222 for that. I think that's what I'm going to do, or see how it works out for the first, people that I put that out there. And if it's too much or not enough or whatever, I'll adjust it. And then the soul, groups of people will be $33, 2 hours, one time a month. And we'll do a Zoom call or a private YouTube video where I give you guys a link and you can come join me. But, it will be more than one person there. And so probably more than one focus there. But as time progresses and I have more people show up, I can be oh, I can put all of the people who have this goal into this group, and all the people with this goal into this group. I just want to keep it simple. So in the beginning, it's just going to be one time a month, one group, and we'll try to work together. We're going to have 2 hours to do it, so we should be all able to have a talk and discussion. I mean, I never think about stuff on the scale that it ends up being, because I don't realize how many people are out there. There's 14,000 on this channel. There's 44,000 on that channel. There's 14,000 on my Facebook. And there's 12,000 on Instagram. And there's 20,000 on TikTok. And I'm like, where do all these people come from? Why does all these people want something? So I don't know why I do that, but I don't know how many people are actually going to want to do the private stuff or the group stuff. So we'll see what happens. If there's like, I'm probably going to have to pivot it more towards like, what some people had been interested in. I did a poll and it was like, do you want to do this or that? Do you want video content, MP3 content? Do you want more workbooks, or do you want one-on-one, or do you want a small group or a big group? Nobody wanted really like a huge big group, I don't believe. Some people were good with the groups, some people were good with like the videos, and some people were good with the MP3, and some people wanted the one-on-one. So I feel like that will be okay. I feel like that can split up recording and showing you specific things to do in regards to business or this or whatever. I already have like so many different things that I'm going to do and record and get them available, and they're not going to be expensively like, oh my god. It's going to depend on how much content is in there and what I find that content to be valuable of, because I know some of it is worth a lot. If you went to somebody else, you'd probably pay like $5,000 for it. I can't do that to people. So I'm going to try to make it make sense too. Like, branding is like something we want to figure out at the beginning of a business, so I want to try to kind of bring that out. But I'm also going to bring out like the crystal healing course, because I know some of you aren't into it to build a business, or maybe you need to figure out what you want to be before you build a business. So do I want to be a crystal healer, or do I want to be this, or so you might want to finish up Alcyone light healing and figure that out. I've been going on soul coaching. It's called, my little thing is for like broken to awoken. Okay, so like if you're broke financially, you're gonna wake up and be okay. Or if you're broken like emotionally, you're gonna be okay. We're gonna go from the broken to awoken, and do the soul coaching and do the business mentoring, and then try to like help everybody at once in the best way possible. As long as I get my drink, I'll be all right. So if you are somebody that just got here for Alcyone light healing, you'd want to go back to part 1 and go through all the levels. Maybe you don't have to. You can watch this one and learn from it and benefit, and maybe that's all you ever take from this, and that's this. And basically tonight we're going to talk about opening up to the higher realms and opening up to the higher beings, talking accents, light language, movements, and channeling the I am versus the 3D self. So the reason I'm laughing is because I got a message, I got a comment, somebody was like, bah, 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 and I was like, oh, because we're going to be talking about that next week, or in the next video. And when I commented back to them, it was like I had intended to be on here within the next couple of days, and I think I'm pretty close. Maybe a day over, 2 days over, but it wasn't that far back. Maybe 5 days. So it's been 5, 6, 7 days. I think it's been 5 days now. But basically they were like, hi, I left a comment on YouTube about my experience during meditation speaking in a language I did not understand. And I was wondering if I was channeling. Is it a past life language? When I was using my drum, I started singing in a Native American language and have been told I could be shamanic. Also, during my meditation, I saw the word Arcturian. So I said, am I Arcturian? And then I said, yes, uncontrollably. So I feel I was channeling the Arcturians, or I'm bat crazy. Thank you. So I just laugh because of like the crazy part. Like I used to feel crazy with different things. Especially when I started doing the trance channeling, and they were like, and they come through like, and they have like an accent, and I'm like, and then I see people with the light language. That's stuff that I do when I'm by myself. Like, some of you guys know I'm weird and I'm goofy, but you have not seen me be weird and goofy. I can be weird, I can be extra goofy, I can be like, and I do some of that stuff, but I'm not doing it like for you guys. And I probably just have like a block for my ego, because I'm like, I don't want to look like that weird, but I am weird. So it'll probably come through at some point in the future. I don't know. I've had like this weird thing where it's like it's always been kind of there, but like when I do trance channeling, the accent definitely comes through. Like I can't stop it. It's just like blah, 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 blah. Some people like, and it shifts. It's like dependent upon who's talking. Like there's an older lady that comes through, there's a younger one that comes through, and it's not even that they're older or younger. That's just like how I can explain it on like a 3D term. Like if you were to like think of one guide over the other guide, there's like an older lady who's kind of like, you know, the grandma, and then there's a younger lady who's kind of like, you know, middle aged, and then there's a younger one that's like da, da, da. She's like new to the world, she hasn't been hit by life yet, you know. But also there's other peeps out there altogether. Like I've done the Pleiadians, and I've done the Lyrans, I've done the Andromedans, I've done the, you know, I've tapped into different energies and spoke for different people, because I like for a while I would have people come to me like on a regular basis, and they'd be like, hey, this week can I talk to blah blah blah, and I'll be like, I don't know, like I don't know if I can do that, but sure, we'll try. And then they would come, or like something would come through to deliver the message of that being, and something always happened, but it was always different. It was never the same thing, and it would always feel different or sound different. Even my meditations would sound different. If I did a guided meditation one week for the Pleiadians, and then the next week I'd be like, let's do the Syrian dolphin, blah 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 blah. It was like it was totally different. My accent, my voice, my everything, the energy, like how I play the things, what I say, what I do, where I go in the room, what tools I want to use, what cards I feel pulled to. It is all energy and frequency, and it's going to make you feel weird no matter what, I think, because even in the very beginning, when I wasn't trance channeling and I wasn't telling people nothing and I wasn't doing anything with anybody other than myself, I thought I was schizophrenic. I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm having a mental breakdown. Oh my God, there's something majorly wrong. So it's always going to feel like a little like, wah! And then there's a tendency to go to fear, because we've seen these scary movies where they're like, oh, poltergeist, and they're like, and like her head's spinning, and she's talking, and she's got an accent, and she's doing some weird movements, but it's not divine, and you can tell that it's not divine. You can tell it is not divine when, believe me, because in the beginning I was like, oh, I'm scared, I don't know what this is, but then when I saw what's not divine, I was like, never mind. I was stupid, because that totally two different things. If you're not, like, you might get scared, but you're not going to be, like, petrified. You're not going to be like, oh my God, I can't breathe. And if you do get petrified or anything, it may be more so because you are more gentle or more sensitive to this world and the conditioning that this world does to us. I feel like a majority of people who have gifts get labeled crazy. And they're not crazy. They have gifts. They can see psychically. They can hear psychically. They can feel psychically. But people are like, no, there's something wrong with you. Let's make you think that there's something worse going on here, so that now you're going to walk around thinking, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. What do you think your life's going to look like when you keep affirming something's wrong and blah, blah, blah? I know, because when I was a kid, the lady that I had for my primary care doctor, it's not a counselor or anything like that, she told my mom that she might be bipolar. Let's give her Prozac. And I was like, what? And hearing that at that age, I was a little kid. I took that and I was like, oh, like there's something wrong with me. I have a chemical imbalance in my brain and blah, blah, blah. And all the bullshit that they say, go along with it. And a lot of things have been proven completely opposite of what they used to think and now think. And even the medicines and stuff that they gave, they're like, they, start rolling out a few years later, like, this might kill you. Like, if you're a child or a young adult, it might cause suicidal, tendencies inside of you. And it did. I was 12 years old, and I was like, in my room trying to slice my wrist with freaking razor blades, which didn't work because I was stupid. I didn't know what I was doing. But it was like, I fell into that, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then I took the whole bottle of pills and never told my mom or anything like that. Nothing happened. I don't even know what the hell I thought. I don't know. I thought that I would die. I was like, huh. Didn't work. That was the first of many fails at that. Not always the same way, but everything I've ever done has not worked. Some of them probably should have. But either way, we live in a society that's like, hey, you're nuts, you're crazy. They don't want you to be tuned into like your spiritual gifts. They don't want you to believe that you have a power to like be better than, you know, what you feel or think about yourself. They don't want you to be like all tuned in, turned on, and tapped into spirit, because you're easily, you know, manipulated or controlled or under these like forces of be good, do what you're here to do. We go to school to prepare you for your life of work, which is going to prepare you for you, like basically just continuously work, gather money to give back to, like, it's just toxic, the whole thing. And then when you're 65 and you're almost dead, then you can stop, take a little break, and then die. But you're not going to have, like, you know, much fun, because you've already lived your life and you busted your ass to get to there, to have the little bit that you have. And it's like, now you just want to sit down and sleep. So don't let that happen to you. Don't let like society make you feel crazy. Don't let that type of stuff happen where it's like, oh, there must be a problem here. Because I don't think there's a problem for a majority of the people who have these experiences. If it feels like really bad or really low vibrational, or you are freaking out, then yeah, like you would want to reach out to someone like me and be like, hey, what's going on with this? Maybe this isn't right. And I usually get like a quick like, oh, like when I see like a comment or something. Like when I saw that comment, I probably would have known in the comment by what they said or how they worded it or just the energy surrounding it, and I would have said something in that moment like, oh, that sounds pretty bad, you probably shouldn't be dealing with that. But I was like, haha, oh my god, synchronicity, because we're talking about it this week. They just mentioned it 5 days ago. Like, it's always aligned. Like, there's always a synchronicity or something happening around me. So I know I can recognize when it's like, oh, that's a good thing. It's a divine thing. But when there's other stuff, you know, happening or not so good stuff happening, I notice that too. So try to, like, trust yourself on that sense as well, that you're going to notice the difference. If you've been connecting with the divine in any way, you're a meditator, you're somebody that, you know, has done any soul work or any type of energy work, or you've connected with any type of person on this planet that's been good or bad, it's kind of the same thing. You're going to feel the difference between a spirit that's good or bad. You just have to know that you have that ability. You're in tune. So basically, opening up to the higher realms or opening up to higher beings, it's kind of like the same thing that we've already talked about. So, you know, last week we talked about basically when you want to connect and receive with the answers, you want to prepare your sacred space. Once you prepare your sacred space, you want to raise your vibe, or you want your vibe to be raised anyway. So like eating good food, drinking those types of drinks that are gonna like clear up this, because it's like kale and like, you know, ginger and healthy stuff for your brain, healthy stuff for your body. The more you put into your body that's good for your body, the higher your vibration is gonna go. If you do things like, you know, cleansing, like I use Palo Santo to clear the energies around me, or I will use something else. It depends on what's going on. It depends on where I am. It depends on, is it okay for me to be burning stuff, or should I, like, you know, take it easy with that because it's not my space, or is there a bunch of like fire alarms that are gonna go off? I've had people come around before, like at different centers, and like there was this one girl, she was insane. I don't know what her problem was, but she would be like, we need more. Like, she had, it was sage, and I don't really like sage. Sage, it's like, it's too pungent, the smell of it. I don't mind what it does, but it's the smell of it that I'm like, get this is much better. But she was like, and she would block the freaking fire things, because the first couple of times she went places, she set the fire alarms off with all the smoke, and then she's like putting freaking blankets over it and tying shit up on there like elastics, and I'm like, oh my god, it was horrible. By the end of the night, I wanted to die. I had a headache, and it was just too much. So do everything in like balance. We don't need to do that much of anything. So I just lit my candle here. I don't even know what this is. didn't ask. I don't have a label on it. I just realized. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was one of my ones that I asked my sister to do for me. I don't remember. But anyways, I like to use a candle when I'm doing Palo Santo, because Palo Santo is hard to get going sometimes unless you have like a torch, you know, which I do actually have here. But the torch, I don't want to waste all this stuff in there, so I'm like, let me just light a candle, because that's a flame, so it's going to be a lot, like, you know, nicer about it. It's going to go softer and gentler, especially when you have this much left of it, because you can, like, burn your hand down, you know, you don't want to be burning yourself. I do have another stick here. I'm actually going to be sending one to somebody. I'm going to send her the big one, I think. I know I have more in my drawer too somewhere, so. Oh, here's one. I can use that. So I always have a lot of this stuff around in different areas. Like, there's one down in the kitchen, there's one over here. Like, and they're not, like, I don't really know where they are, but they're just, like, all over. Because I like the way it smells. I like what it does. It clears the energy, and it doesn't stay on, like, in, you know, crazy amount. When you blow on it, it will go more, but if you, you know, just, like, let it go and, you know, don't do it, if you don't blow on it or move it around, it's not going to keep going. You know, most of the time, like to the winds of the south, blah, 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 to the winds of the east, like, try to keep it going, or have my candle going so I don't have to worry about that. But this does really shift the energies and frequencies, so, like, try to clear yourself up to raise your vibration. And think about that too. Like, set your intention. I'm going to raise my vibration. Whatever has been around me, whatever's, you know, in my energy field, whatever's in my mind, whatever's in my emotions, whatever's in my thoughts, my fears, my doubts, my insecurities. I'm going to ask that the smoke clear, and cleanse, and shift the vibration. And you can ask to cut any cords or any energetic debris that may be impacting you at this time from other people, in their intentions, in their energies, in their focus. You can ask to ground the energy. This grounded energy is stronger energy. It has a purpose. It is stable. It is rooted. And it can flow through you stronger. You can even imagine roots coming down from your feet through all the layers of the earth, twisting and winding, pushing down to the heart, Pachamama. Allow yourself to connect with the womb space of Pachamama and the unconditional love of the goddess. She is all of our mother. She provides all that we need. She nurtures us, protects us, gives us sustenance, food. We give gratitude. Say thank you for all that she provides from below. We can ask the Great Spirit, the Creator, you who are known by 1,000 names and you who are the unnameable, to join us, to to join us in raising our vibration, to join us in raising our consciousness and our minds, our awareness. You could ask for a beam of light, or you could ask for whatever feels appropriate to you and your soul, whatever visualization. However you feel that the information of the Great Spirit, of the One Consciousness, should express its message to you, to connect and to receive it. How can you receive the energies and frequencies? How does that look? Does it look like DNA, cells, atoms? Does it look like sacred geometry? Is there a vortex? Or just a pillar of light? Or just an animal, like the eagle, soaring down to connect in your heart? To bring you a new perspective, to see with the eyes of your heart and soul. And if you feel that your vibration has risen to an appropriate level, you can ask that there is a being that is most relevant to connect, for that being to make itself known. It doesn't have to be significant. You don't have to break out into a dance or song. It may just be a subtle feeling. Maybe a shift in the energies, the temperature. You may see a new color. But this is a being of light, higher vibration, and you are protected. You are in sacred space. You are connected to all that there is above and below, with the sacred power of the divine feminine and masculine, Pachamama, the Great Spirit, the archetypes, the ancestors. They all surround you and support you. So simply allow yourself to receive, free from fear and free from doubt, that higher vibrational energy and frequency, that higher vibrational consciousness. And be patient. Give yourself time to adjust. Give yourself time to see, to feel, to know who is with you. And if you can, verbalize. Verbalize a word, verbalize a color. Verbalize whatever wants to come through you. You are the receiver. So allow yourself to receive. And there's billions of you all over, not just on your planet, but throughout creation. You can see them as infinite little televisions, little boxes, little receivers of information. They take the information through coding, through frequency, through energy, through consciousness streaming. And sometimes the picture is clear. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes they know exactly what they are seeing and what to say or what they hear. And other times the messages are not so clear. And they may get shared with others incorrectly. Discernment is a powerful tool to use. No matter who you are, who you connect with, who you look up to, discernment will assist you. There is always a room or an energy or a frequency that you will tune into differently than another. Don't allow others to do the work for you, or you will not grow. Look into yourself. Look into the energy, the frequency, the light codes, the consciousness. And ask yourself how you would like to deliver it, how you would like to understand it, how you would like to disseminate it. And then do it. If you want to sing, if you want to dance, if you want to create music, if you want to write words, or speak them, or yell them, or if you want to run energy and frequency through your hands without ever speaking a word, or you want to use the cards to deliver the energies and frequencies, maybe through pictures, maybe through reading them with your mind and your voice. There's no wrong way. There's infinite intelligence and infinite ability for you to tap into. And the more joy you are having, the more higher your vibration will be, the more likely you are to tune in to that frequency of light language. Because light language is, in essence, our dancing or singing. Think of yourself when you dance, or think of another when they dance. Maybe that would be better. Because when you dance, you may not think that it is awkward or different or weird. But there is likely another person on the planet that dances a little differently, that you may feel a little different about. You may laugh, point, giggle. It is okay. It is just different. But when you tap in to the higher frequencies and energies, particularly while you are drumming, while you are listening to the steady beat of a musical instrument, or you are listening to the higher vibrational toning of a crystal bowl, you're more likely in those moments to tap in to the movement, to tap into the light language, to sing or to speak without much control. Don't try to control it, because you will lose it. Don't try to own it, because it is not yours. It is freedom and expression. It is consciousness. choosing to express itself through you. And when you embrace it, and you allow it, and you allow yourself to not worry or wonder how you look or what they will think or what they will say, you embody the highest vibrations. You will receive deep wisdom and understanding. And you will likely know from where it came, or have a feeling, an intuition. The best way for you to do it is to just simply be in a high vibration. Let go of your fears and your doubts, your insecurities. Do not allow this planet and the beings upon it to program you into fear or doubt or dark. Do your best to have joy, to have light, to keep raising the frequencies, the consciousness, and delivering what you receive without doubt. Lead by example. There is more beings here now awake, looking for guidance, looking for someone else to say, let's go, looking for someone else to stand up first. Who's going to stand up first? Who's going to show them? The way showers. Are you a way shower? Are you going to sit back and watch and do nothing out of fear, out of doubt, out of insecurity? Or are you going to tap in to your infinite power, your consciousness inside of you? Some of you are ancient beings and souls with ancient wisdom to share. Do not allow the mundane to keep you from that. Do not allow your ego to keep you from that. We thank you for your work and your dedication to raising frequencies and consciousness, for raising your vibration, for tuning in and coming, connecting. We are always available to you, but you must remember to ask. Set your clear intentions. You can set clear intentions while you are doing something, just by the act of doing it. You can set clear intentions now for every time you do something. There is no limitations. There's only limitations about what you believe, what you feel, what you allow to limit you. Stop allowing things to limit you. Stop allowing others to block you. Stop allowing doubt to consume you. Be love. Be joy. Be the light. And then anything that you say or do will be light language. Okay. So basically, that's what happens. But you may find that you move, and everybody's different, because I had a teacher who would have like this uncontrollable movement, like, you know, with a hand. And then for me, I rock a lot, but that's only if I'm in a position to rock. And I rock a lot anyways. Like, I'm by myself sometimes, I'm just rocking. But I know I receive a lot like that, and I'm always having weird downloads and crazy synchronicities and oh my god. So I know that that's a way that I receive. So you may receive in something like that, or the drum, steady beat. When I play the drum, especially my black Remo drum, which it's not as good as it was now, because I don't know what happened. I think it got like condensation or heat or something happened to it. But if I make a fire, I think I can fix it, because the fire can like tighten up the skin sometimes when you hold your drum over fire. It can, like, you know, do some stuff. But it's like I just need to get another one. But that drum specifically, especially when it had that deep boom, boom, I could just sit by myself and boom. I don't even have to hit it hard. Boom. If you just are steady with it, or even if you just listen to steady drumming, and if you have good bass or a good, you know, system with your music or whatever, that might even reach you deeper. But if you have a, you know, connection with music, like if music moves you or it can change your mood, which it does for most people, think about that when you are wanting to do light language, or when you are thinking about light language, and realize like the light language might come out of you in those moments that you are listening to music. If it's aligned with the divine. If it's not aligned with the divine and you're doing some weird stuff, you might want to be like, wait a minute, what am I jumping into? Just be careful about it. Be mindful, be aware. There's nothing to be afraid of as long as you're aware. When you stop being aware, or you're like, you know, clueless altogether, which none of you are, because you wouldn't be here if you were, you got nothing to worry about. The only thing you have to worry about is keeping yourself a little bit mindful sometimes, because sometimes we fall off of that. We're human and we do, you know, 3D things. But if you keep treating your body good and you keep, you know, doing the work and you keep accelerating through this stuff, you'll be alright. So basically, the movements are normal. The, you know, accents, I've heard all types. Like Bashar, he's like, hello, but good day. Like every single time, Bashar, Bashar. I used to listen to him. You know, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I know I was in that basement at one point, and I would put him on because he would like cheer me up, and he would be like, hello, good day, blah blah blah. And he, you know, he was like a timeless message. Some people channel stuff and it just doesn't feel right, or it's like that robotic voice that they do because they don't want anybody to know it's them. God forbid that they put their voice out there, so they like, you know, talking to the thing that's like, it doesn't, the words are not like the words because they're not reading appropriate. I think those things have gotten better over time, but back before they were really bad. I was like, and there were so many of them because back when I was waking up, like nobody was making videos of people. Like it wasn't like this ever. You never saw a person. It was always like words going by with like music in the background, or just like the same screen, you know, with like freaking robot talk. So know that you have it much better now. A lot more information out there. But to open up to the higher realms and the higher beings, you basically need to open yourself up to that higher frequency and that higher energy. Music is a great way. Food is a great way. Meditation is a great way. Maintaining like a practice, a spiritual practice, or just a daily practice of gratitude or affirmations, whatever you want to do, that's going to be like, that's my thing that I do that helps me to feel right. It makes me feel better. And every day that I do it, things get better in my life. I just saw Monica had been doing the affirmations, and she's doing it in service. You don't have to do all of them in service, but when you do them in service, they're like, boom, you know, like they're powerful. She was saying, you know, I wish that, I don't know exactly how she worded it, but she didn't want pollution, you know. She's like, clean air, wouldn't clean air be nice? Yeah. Well, where she lives, they just installed like a thing that's gonna clean the air. I'm like, wow. So it happens, and it hasn't been doing it that long, so it can happen quick. She was like, I only wrote it down 10 times a day for like blah 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 blah. But it's like, that's enough. Your power to create is powerful. You just have to believe in it, trust in it. That's the key. If you don't believe in yourself, or you don't believe in what you're doing, it's like you're gonna sabotage it. You're not gonna give much energy to it. You're gonna be like, But when people believe in what they're doing, and they like have a good heart behind it, they have good intentions and good vibrations and frequencies, and embracing the vibe of themselves and the others, you're gonna see stuff happen. And you might start moving, you might start dancing, you might start singing, you might start doing all these weird things, and if you do it. I do it when I'm by myself. I don't know what I'm doing. And I know a lot of the people who come on to those things are like, we're gonna do an activation for, and then they're like, and I don't know what I'm doing when I do what I do, like that's close to the things and I don't do anything that like, I don't like some stuff is like repetitive, but I'm like trying to think. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing that since I was like 8. But I don't know, like I would have to like sit with it and like ask it and communicate with it and all of that. And I think that I don't do that because I don't need to. And it's not that I don't need to, it's that like I can get the words from them and have them speak it themselves. So there's not a reason for me to have to do that. I think the light language stuff that comes through me is for me to like raise my vibration so that I'm not sad. And it happens like randomly. Like my dad yesterday, he was like, what the fuck? He sent me a text and it was just like, what the fuck? Because I was like loud. Like I was talking to the dogs and stuff, like, and I talk to the dogs while I do it, and they're like, they like it, I think. I don't know. I'm in a zone. I get in a zone, and I'm really loud and crazy, and they're like barking, and it gets weird. But I've always been a little weird like that, so I think some of it's just me being weird, and some of it is probably light language. But that's the thing. It's like, if it makes you feel good, if you're in a good mood while you're doing it, there's nothing wrong with it. Just do it and enjoy it. And if you start receiving messages like Arcturian, then there's probably something deeper for your soul to look into. So instead of, like just being like all weird, willy-nilly, like sit, maybe write down like a list of like what you want to know. And then when you start, ask questions and be like, try to ask those in the beginning of the session, just before you go deep into that thing, so that you can get the answers. And and remember, you're in control of everything. So like if at some point you don't want to be doing it anymore, or you're like freaking out, or you're like, oh my god, it's too much, you have complete control. All you have to do is say, I'm done, get out, like that's enough. And they have to leave, no matter what, no matter who it is, good or bad. You have free will. So they know that. They gotta go. And you gotta be in your power and be like, go, if it's not good. But it's never, like, I don't think when you're in a high vibe and you're like, dun, 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 it's probably not gonna be a low vibe thing that, like, you have to worry about. But it's good to know that you have that ability of free will, no matter what's around. Just remember that power and be confident in it. And I would also maybe meditate without the, like, thing going on, like without doing the drumming and stuff at some point, or without any like movements and stuff, depending on you, because I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was in my head or outside. Connecting with EOL, emissaries of light. I'm like, what is that? And getting out of the way, trance activation is the next thing that I'm going to be posting. It's a paid thing. Like I'll be like, blah, 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 and there'll be a paid activation. And then there's going to be a connect with the individual consciousness meditation. So either one would be okay for you to use and ask, because I'm not going to be like getting all that craziness going. You probably won't tap into that while you're listening to me, so it's a good opportunity to set intention to be like, I want to receive the information about my Arcturian connection. I want to do. I want to know this. I want to know that. In my Arcturian video, I do have an Arcturian video you can watch and see if it resonates, like, for your soul, because if you've had an Arcturian past life, or a Pleiadian past life, or a Lyran past life, or an Andromedan past life, there'll be a video that, probably sparks something for you. Not maybe always on my channel, because there's other people out there that have their own opinions of things, and like, we all are on frequencies and energies, and that's why I think sometimes we get different stories, or people are like, no, that doesn't make sense, I'm going over here, because their energy, their frequency, what they vibe on is like a whole other level of stuff. It's not any better or any worse than, it's just different. And I think some beings are always like aligned on that, like they're the clique over here, they're the group of those people, those beings, those soul people that are always like, I love you too, we're gonna keep like doing our thing over here because we live in this vibration and this frequency, this energy, we see things this way, blah 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 blah. And then there's the ones over here like doing their thing, and yeah, we're gonna be over here. It's like, it's not to say that there's separation, like a good thing to have separation or whatever. It's just like, it's acceptance of the fact that there's differences, there's differences of opinions. But the thing is, anything that's said, anything that's spoken, anything that has been put out into the world, it's created in some sense. So you might have people who believe with a version of reality that's not real, but they believe with that version of reality. So they're not going to come to your version of reality until they're ready to. You might see them, you might know about them, they might know about you, they might see about you, but until they're ready, or till you're ready to go to theirs, those two, like, you're going to be in two different worlds. And you can see this happening with like the whole COVID thing and stuff. Like, somebody shared this thing, it's like, oh, look at this hashtag, and half the people in there are people who've had like really bad experiences from COVID, and half the people are really bad experiences from the shot. And I'm like, it's like a Civil War 2020 style, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is stupid. I mean 2021 style, because it's like, it's literally like it's just like, oh, well, they hit this and it is literally each single, like, I'm like, this is horrible all around. Like, none of this is good. None of it's good. There's no reason for anybody to be like bitching to each other, though. Like, if your daughter went in and got a shot to protect her from something, and she's like, afterwards, you'd be upset. And if your husband died of COVID, you're gonna be upset. It's just natural instincts and common understanding of like, hey, life was not good for them. My thing, for me, I live here. I don't see humans. I don't go into interact with any of them. The most I do is get in my Jeep and drive around, listen to music. I don't go to any places. I don't talk to any beings. I don't do nothing with nobody. I leave everybody alone. So I'm not doing any of it. I'm not getting COVID, and I ain't getting the shot because I don't trust it. Either of it. Because COVID came around, and it don't seem right about the way it came around. Like, there's something not right about that. And I don't think that there's something right about it at all. And then the new thing, the shot, we've never had a vaccine that doesn't, like, it's supposed to make it so you don't get it. Not so that you get it and it's okay, it's not as bad, blah. This thing is literally, like, and everybody knows it, except for some people. So because they've pushed that word, vaccine, people believe that, oh, I go get that shot and I don't get COVID. No, you still get COVID, and you carry it around and spread it to everybody because now you're not wearing a mask. They literally started a second freaking, like, pandemic by being stupid and being like, we know this doesn't do anything except for make it easier on the people who got the shot. But some of the people who got the shot die because they had a brain aneurysm, and they had this blood clot, or they had this thing. And if you don't believe me, go look, because they're underreporting it. They're not telling you about the people who, they want people to get these shots way too much, if you ask me. They are like, people are getting paid to take them in some places, and like, that's messed up. That's too much. Like, why do you want me to do it so badly? You know what I mean? If it was like, I understand the whole like, oh, we want this to go away thing, but even if that was the case, like, it's just, it's there, the way that the approach has been, and anything I see that's like, oh, hey, this is a natural thing. Like, somebody was literally just sharing a post talking about aromatherapy and like, you know, vitamin D and whatever, how to boost your immune system. They didn't say anything about COVID. They didn't say anything like that. But guess what? As we go into this next winter, you're going to want a boosted immune system if you want to stand a chance, with or without the shot. Because the shot doesn't get you to not have it. The shot just makes it less bad sometimes, or maybe not. It depends, because now they have this one and that one, and you're gonna need the booster, and then this one, and I guarantee you, 20 years down the road, there's gonna be a whole lot of people messed up saying like, "Wow, I bet you it's that shot." So be careful with the things. Like, don't just go sticking yourself for no reason, or like getting crazy about things, or letting people get into your head. There's even nurses just quitting. Nurses that went through the entire COVID on the floor with people. They put their life at risk for COVID as nurses, but now they won't put their life at risk with the shot. They're leaving. That tells you something. Like, it's not okay for what they're doing, first of all, of like trying to make people feel bad and guilt them into it, because there's like legitimate reasons why some people don't want to do it. I'm afraid because I'm already messed up. And I know, like, I'm like, I'll go down there to get a fucking shot, and I'll end up with COVID on my way there, or something stupid, because I haven't left the house in 6 months to be around any humans. Like, actually, a year I haven't left here and seen people for, like, a year. I'm not a risk to anybody out there. Guarantee you, I'm not. Me living here by myself, like, in my room, doing my videos, isn't hurting anybody. So, I'm not taking the risk of a brain aneurysm or some another thing on top of whatever I already got going on, because my immune system's already down. So just be careful out there. Just know that there's a lot of stuff out there trying to cause separation. It's literally like, I looked at it like, this is like tactics. If you wanted somebody, like, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer is what I heard when I looked last night at the thing on there, because it was a girl I know. She was like, "Oh my god, look at this!" It's like hashtag protect your family, and like half the people, everybody's abusing this hashtag. This isn't how this hashtag was meant to be. They're protecting their family. You're protecting your family. Just because your family died from COVID and this one's family died from the freaking shot, it doesn't. Like, you have to realize that, like, that's not the issue. You two aren't the issue. Where is the big issue? It's coming from where it came from. Who released the shot? Who released the fucking thing to begin with? Maybe look into that. Because I feel like that may be where we want to be like, "Hey, wait. Why do they want us against each other?" I heard this thing, and I don't know if it's true. So I won't say things unless I'm like, I don't know. I never really looked into it either, but I heard that there was like a thing, like a test run of what's happening now, where they were like, let's see what would happen if we did this. Like it was like an elite, like, pretend time on some island or something. But then, like, not too long later, pretend time was real time, and all the big players were there, supposedly. It could be a rumor, it could be made up, but I was like, either way, it kind of would work, like, on that level of, like, if they were doing that, like, just pretending, and they didn't intend or have a plan in place, or, like, let's hypothetically figure this out, because they're all, like, scientific brainiacs, right? They'd want to do simulations and play with their things, their disposable whatever they've got going on over there. Even if they didn't intend for it, because of the mind the consciousness creates, they might have, like, set something into motion through their consciousness. But on the other side of that scary thought is that it could be a real thing. I don't know anymore, because I'm like, this doesn't feel, nothing feels right here anymore. Like, nothing feels like it used to at all. I feel like I'm waiting for Mother Earth to be like, get off, because we are gross. I feel like we're dirty. My dogs right now have like they've got like this. 2 of them are worse than like 3 of them don't have anything. 3 of them are like, one of them is like, she doesn't really have anything. But then my Mana and my other one that's my dad's, who not together, like, she's with my dad, he's with me. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, they got these like little itchy things, and then like they're like itchy. And I'm like, what is that? So I got these sprays and stuff, but if the spray, like, if consistently spraying them for a few days doesn't get it to go away, then I'm going to have to take them to the vet and find out what, like, my dad's going to take Honey Bunny to the vet, find out what it is, and then if it's something that you know, he has to have something. I can get the medicine that way too, but I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's because this world is dirty. So I just think that, like, that's all I could think of. And then today I was outside and I could see all like these mushrooms, and I had these ghost plant things in the yard. And ghost plants are basically bacteria, and they eat dead plants. So like, maybe it's something in our yard, like a bacteria that, you know, isn't really bothering the other ones, because the other ones don't go out as much as like he does, and the other one downstairs, she has free range of the yard, so she could have like gotten into the same area that he's getting into, or the same thing. Plus they're very much alike, like when it comes to their looks, body type, all like their mannerisms and stuff. Of all the dogs that I have that he had given, you know, he was the daddy for, she's like him the most, so it makes sense that they would have the same reaction to something. But it's just, again, it's like, what the hell is going on out here? Like, why is everything dirty, gross? Like, I got this tick bite thing that's like, parasites inside of me eat my brain. And, like, we are like a zombie apocalypse on some level. I got fucking ghost plants that are dead plants. They don't have chlorophyll, so they're white, they're clear. They look dead. Literally look dead. And we have all these people out in this world, like, dead, you know, from this or that or the other thing, or they're now no longer conscious, they have no brain power, or they have no abilities left. Like, there's so many moms out there on that thing who let their daughters or their sons be part of like the Pfizer test or this test or that, and they want to kick themselves in the ass because they've always been vaxxers, they've always been pro this and pro that, but they didn't know this was a risk. They didn't know that this experimental thing that they came up with out their ass within, like, you know, a short time could possibly have side effects. And I feel bad for them, but at the same time, I'm like, why would you even take the risk? Like, with your daughter or your kid or whoever. Do it with yourself, but don't put your kid in there, because it's just stupid. I would never take a kid or a dog or anybody other than myself to do anything, because it's not fair to anybody. And the kids of all of them, because the kids, like, everybody's always, oh, kids don't get it, kids don't get it. Yeah, they do. There's a little, like, 3-year-old right now that's on a freaking ventilator. She can't breathe, but they don't show you all of, like, everything, because it doesn't go with the story or whatever that they're trying to spiel with people. Everybody is, like, I don't know. I wouldn't trust anybody, anywhere, anything. All I know is, like, I don't have to leave my house and deal with people, so I don't. And I don't want to. And I don't want to go take a risk that's going to possibly make me get really messed up for no benefit. Like, I'm not going to go contract the COVID if I'm not out there. And I'm not going to go get the thing that doesn't help you from getting it anyways, if it could kill me, or give me a brain clot, or do some of the things that they do for some people. And I'm the type of person that gets, like, the 1% of the shit that nobody else gets. Like the freaking Lyme thing. I went and had my antibiotics and I'm fine, and I had my antibiotics and I'm fine. And I know there's a lot of people who didn't, but a lot of people do. And I'm like, and I told my doctor, I asked more than once. So I'm not taking risks anymore with my body, my health, all of that stuff. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying and aren't going to be, like, attacking me in the comments, because I don't really talk about this stuff that much, because people attack in the comments and people freak out. And I don't think I'm doing anything selfish. If you think that, then, you know, you can think that. You can even say that if you want to say that, but I don't think what I'm doing is any problem to anybody out there, because I'm not out there. I'm not near them. What am I doing? How am I hurting them? So, hopefully you guys will have a good day and a good night. And with the channeling of the I Am and the 3D self, it's basically, like, more so aligned for like, other people. Like, if you have a divine masculine, and you want to channel for him, or you want to, like you're channeling for somebody that has a divine masculine, that's the only time I can really, like, think of, like, that it's, like, been a thing that's come up, really, because, well, no, like, when people came to my readings at, like, a fair, that was their 3D version of themselves showing up to me at the fair. Sometimes I would read for them, and it wouldn't really go beyond them and their mundane things and their mundane life, and they're like, blah, 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 like, they don't care about anything else because they didn't really have much beyond that. Like that there wasn't a depth to them. So I read their 3D self, which was like, oh yeah, like you're unhappy with this, or you need more confidence. It was like more just mundane messages, like blah blah blah. Blah. But then there's people that would come sit down. It was like, what? Hey, and you would know, I would know instantly that there's something special. There's like a starseed here sitting with me. It's a Lyran playing. I could sometimes tell by, I'm like, oh my god, I know what you are, by looking at them, because like some peeps really look a lot like the energy and frequency is, like, I guess the best way to say it for me. I have a guy that, like, I know that he's like 100% Arcturian, and I'm like, how can you even doubt? Because he doubted for a long time, and then finally he sees some freaking article after I've been telling him for a year. I'm like, you are Arcturian, 100%. The first time I touched his head, I had Arcturian vision. Everything turned purple, and like, it was crazy shit. And he felt a tornado go through him, and I'm like, no, you're not Arcturian. Okay. He like didn't want to be it. Like he did and he didn't. I think he just didn't value himself enough or whatever. He was like, no, I'm not that. But he was. And then he sees some stupid article that was like 20 signs, and I'm like, I've been telling you that, but all of those things for a long time. Because he's like, I am. Oh, I was so mad. But, I would have somebody like that come to me, and it would be more of a soul level. And it was like, just instantly, I didn't even have to try sometimes. It was like, it depended on who got in front of me, whether I was doing 3D or 5D. And that's the same thing, like, when people come to me and they're like, can you tap into my divine matter? Like, I want to know this, I want to know that, I want to know what they're thinking and feeling and wanting. Like, when I do readings with my cards, sometimes, same thing. Like, it's very mundane, like, there's what they're thinking, there's what they're feeling, it's all bullshit, like, 3D crap. But other times, there's, like, other soul messages coming through, and these synchronistic numbers and all this stuff. And those are the ones that I'm like, alright, obviously these ones are, like, these peeps are divine soul mates. Like, these are the ones. And it doesn't mean that because, like, if you had a reading with me and that it wasn't all the whole time, doesn't mean that yours isn't. It just meant that, like, that one was, like, really significant. There was some reason that 5D messages needed to come through more so than with, like, another person. But when I would do, like, automatic writing of, like, a love letter from divine masculine to the divine feminine, sometimes I would have to ask, like, the divine masculine for their, I am presence. I would ask for permission. First of all, can I connect to receive this message, or will you, tell me what you want to say to her, or like, will you, speak so then I can write what you want to say. And sometimes I would get a mix. And sometimes I would get a yes, which could lead to a mix of like 3D and 5D. It was weird because it would be like, sometimes I would have things that it was like, gotta write this, and then like stop and almost like have somebody else write. Like, it was like back and forth between the two versions of the dude. Sometimes it was all straight from the 5D dude, and sometimes it was all straight from 3D dude. It just really depends on the frequency, the energy, the consciousness. Is that person awake? Is that person asleep? Is the person that you are reading for awake and asleep? Like, you know what I mean? And I think over time you're going to feel the differences of like what a real aligned divine reading feels like. When it's like, holy shit, that was crazy synchronicity. I can't believe you did like a 5-hour reading because it was like so aligned and divine, and you forgot where you were. Space and time doesn't exist no more. That is when you had like a divine reading. But sometimes you don't get that. Sometimes you get a 3D one where it's like 5 minutes in and you're like, this dude sucks and he's a bad person and I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what else to tell you for 20 minutes. So it depends on the energies and frequencies. And always try to be sure of your energy and frequency, because like you can influence that. If you might think, oh, it's just a divine like bad thing. And it maybe it's just you're in a bad mood, or you're being a bitch, or you're being, whatever you are at that time. So that's another reason why I like to pace myself with things, or spread things out, or don't have things that are like set in stone all the time, because I can't. I will literally like I can't. There's times I just cannot do stuff. I get triggered by things. I'm not going to go read because I don't want to trigger someone else. I don't want to hurt someone else's feelings. I don't want to take it out on them. And it's not like I would come do it consciously or, you know, I'm going to take it out on you now. But it happens. People get mad. People get upset. You don't want to just like go being all willy-nilly while you're frustrated or upset about something. So, channeling the I am 3D and, you know, I am present self, be sure that you can tap into your I am and like connect to your soul self and your higher version of yourself to deliver these messages. Because like sometimes I'm like really tuned in and the messages are like really like boom 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 boom, and other times I'm like not feeling it and they don't really feel that way. So it's really a reflection of you, and if you're taking care of yourself, raising your vibration and all of those good things. Okay, so the next time that I do one of these, it's going to be a very quick little like check-in, like, hey guys, I just did the connecting with the emissaries of light to get out of the way trance activation, so that you will be able to get out of the way so that they can come through like they did with me tonight. If you've had struggles with that, because I was like, last time we talked, I'm like, get out of the way, just get out of the fucking way, don't stand there, move out of the way. However that looks to you, however you feel about that, get out of the way. And so maybe you did, maybe you didn't, I don't know yet. I'm probably going to see those comments in this video, or maybe in the next video, or maybe in the last video, they might be some. But that activation can help you if you have struggled with that. And then the one after that, there won't be any blah, blah, blah. It will just be a me doing discover. I'm like, what? No, that's not right. It's connect with the I am of individual consciousness meditation. And then after that is a connect with the guides activation. And then after that is a discover the trance dance frequency meditation. So, trance dance is basically what I was doing. Okay? Like that, like. But there's also people who, like, literally go to do, like, you know, some take stuff. Like, they get, like, they don't have to, because you can still get without it. But there are people out there who will do, like, trance dancing nights, like these party nights and stuff, where it's like playing all these crazy things and doing all this crazy shit, and it's like, oh wow, there's a lot going on here. Microdosing and this thing and that thing and all this craziness, but it's okay, whatever you want to do. But that's like one version of trance dance. My version of trance dance for me is like my moving back and forth all the time. Like, I'm in my trance dance because I don't really like recognize it until I like look back, or I'm like coming out of my little like time in, and I'm like, oh god, I'm doing that thing right now that everybody can see me like rocking back and forth like a weirdo. Because my mom used to rock, and I think she did it because she was psychic. She knew everything that I did. She knew everything my sisters did. She always knew the answers. She was like blah blah blah, and then like we'd be like, no. And my stepdad messed her up because he lied to her a lot, or like, you know, made her feel like she was stupid when she wasn't. She always knew. She just doubted herself because, like, he made her doubt herself. And, like, my sisters and I were like, no, we weren't doing that. Oh, my God. But we were kids. So, you might have a trance dance that's kind of like this. So, it's going to be kind of like that. So, it probably might be one that I have you guys stand up for, or, I might stand up with the camera facing me so you can see me, like when we did the movement meditation. This is similar to that, but trance dance can be like that, like really hardcore, like dancing and trancing, and you know, some people are taking mind-altering drugs. You can do ayahuasca, you can do like that frog thing. I don't know what that is. Kombucha, I don't know. I haven't done any of that stuff. I'm afraid to do that stuff. I'm not in like a sense of like I would get addicted to it, just the like what I've heard of, like, you need to purge for 6 weeks and blah 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 blah, or you're gonna like die all night. And I'm like, that sounds great, no thanks. Like, I don't really want to do that. Like, I want to have a good time if I'm gonna do anything. I don't want to be like, that was life change. I'm thought about the microdosing though, because I saw it in like a thing for people who suffer with anxiety or depression or whatever, they're doing microdosing for people now with like LSD, and they're like, this is like mind, like boggling that this is so well for their consciousness, and it's making them better from severe depression, severe anxiety. Like these people, like they give a little tiny bit of this and a little tiny bit, and all it is it's like letting them break down the walls and the barriers of the fucking ego, and because of that, they don't have to be sad or miserable or depressed or anxious or whatever it is that most people usually are. But it took some fucking, I don't know, long time to get here, and for people to be like, oh, we just have to do it in moderation, or whatever they're doing. But I feel like I wanted to try that if I was going to try anything, like the microdosing, because I think that would help me a lot, because I was really depressed for a while after this whole like, hey, I've got Lyme disease thing that's gonna destroy everything. I was like, oh my god. I'm feeling better though. I think a lot of it is helpful that I'm like, you know what, it's time to do soul coaching and the business thing and blah blah blah. Still help people with their twin flame thing, but I don't need to be doing that 24/7 every day, all day. I need to feel fulfillment in what I'm doing, or it's like, why do it? So that just wasn't cutting it. Like, there's not fulfillment coming out of that. So, I don't know. And I sometimes feel like I help people to stay stuck, or I help people to do things that they shouldn't be doing, or deal with dudes that they shouldn't be dealing with, or women that they shouldn't be dealing with, or just, things that need to change. It's time for us to evolve and grow. So, hopefully this has assisted you guys, and I will be sharing the activation next. Probably not tonight, but soon. Every day. Namaste.